Within our project, we've closed in January a deal to option out some ground in Chile that was very important to us. We've been working on that a long time, and that completed our land package, which is now more or less the complete strike projection of Filo to the south. And so we've been down there exploring on that new ground and on our existing ground for the last several months, and the results of that work is coming through in the last recent weeks.
Hello and welcome to the Assay TV. I am on site at Mining Investment London, and I am here with Sabet, who is the CEO of Mogotes Metals. So welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So let's start with a quick overview to the company.
Sure. So we're an exploration stage company looking for copper and gold in what's the most prolific copper and gold exploration district in the world. The reason I say that is last week on Monday, Lundin Mining announced the biggest copper discovery of the last 3 decades is now definitively at the Filo del Sol deposit, which is our neighbor. So we're looking at trying to find something like that on our ground, which is the direct strike projection of the Filo del Sol trend.
We'll come on to that a little bit later on, but could you give us the latest at the Vicuña district, and what is the latest news here as well?
It's a district which has had many discoveries in the last 5 years. So we've had Los Mogotes there quite some time, Lunahuasi in the last 3 years, which is NGX Minerals' big discovery. And most recently, Filo del Sol was acquired by BHP and Lundin Mining. That closed, I believe, in January. And then the resource, which has been many years in the making, was just announced last week. So these are the big developments outside of Mogotes. Within our project, we've closed in January a deal to option out some ground in Chile that was very important to us. We've been working on that a long time. And that completed our land package, which is now more or less the complete strike projection of Filo to the south. And so we've been down there exploring on that new ground and on our existing ground for the last several months. And the results of that work is coming through in the last recent weeks. Yeah.
So you just mentioned it, but as you said, it's been confirmed the largest copper discovery in the last 3 decades. So what leads you to believe that you might be on to finding another of the same caliber?
Well, it's exploration, so it's obviously risky and it's nothing guaranteed. That's the first important point to note. But when in that context, because we're on the continuation of that north-south trending belt, we have similar aged rocks. The structural setting is conducive to deposits forming. And the targets that we've identified have multiple coincident layers of data. So we have either geochemical, copper or gold anomalies in the rocks that we're seeing at the surface. And then typically underneath that, depending on the target, we have an interesting either a resistivity anomaly or chargeability anomaly in our geophysics. So we're seeing multiple layers of data there that tell us these are good targets. And we've got multiple targets. And that's what you want to have as an exploration company, a portfolio of targets. It's
very exciting. So looking at Filo Sur, your recent exploration results there, what has been the most exciting at Filo Sur?
Well, it's just a lot, actually. So we've in the last 6 weeks or so, we've been discussing and putting out news about our southern targets, Cruz del Sur and Stockwork Hills, and they're firming up and they're almost drill ready stage, those 2 targets. And then most recently, as recently as yesterday, we've been releasing news on the new ground that we had optioned that I mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. We've been working on that last 3 months. And the geophysical work is coming through now, and that's looking very interesting. And the rock chips and the soil analysis has also come through. And those together have painted a picture of 3 compelling new targets there. So
looking at the Argentina side as well, could you share more about the targets you have found there and works on this side as well?
Yeah. We initiated in November, December, a kind of comprehensive trenching program over a number of the targets, 2 of which I mentioned, that we Cruz del Sur and Stockwork Hills. Yeah. But we have others. They number about 3 or 4 others that we're still analyzing that data, and we'll be putting out a release on that soon. But Filo del Sol would be among them, as well as the Camino target and the Meseta target in Argentina.
So you've already mentioned lots of works underway and what we can expect in the near future. But just to summarize for our investors, what are the key milestones that we should be looking out for in the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, in the next, I would say 1 to 2 months, you're looking at news flow from the new ground, that we have more analysis coming through on the new targets. And we're looking at the results of the trenching and the analysis we've done in Argentina. And on top of that, I think that's probably have to break that up into a few pieces because we've got a lot of targets to share.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have a more comprehensive drill program designed to test these targets. And you can expect that to come through subsequent to the full geophysics and the full analysis of our new targets. And then shortly after that, we're probably going into the next season where we hope to be drilling a number of these targets. Yeah.
So lots to look out for then. Thank you, Alan, for joining me today. And I hope you've had a really good event with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Good to be here.
Thanks.